So what is up, bosses? It's your boy Boss Fatwod and welcome to The Summoning. Sometime last month I wishlisted a game on Steam called The Twins, and upon purchasing that game I realised that there was a double pack with, funnily enough, The Summoning and The Twins within it. So The Summoning came out about the beginning of December, which was, I'm pretty sure, about the time that I wishlisted The Twins. So I thought I'd do a video on this. Maybe I'll do The Summoning and The Twins in the same video. I'm not too sure how long they are, but hopefully I'll do a video on this and then a video on The Twins, so we can put that into like a little two-way playlist or something like that. So I guess let's new game this bad boy. This actually looks really interesting. I've heard that it's actually very terrifying, and there's a lot of stuff to do. Like, it requires you to have a notebook and stuff like that, or like a bit of paper and a pen in real life so you can write stuff down. So I'm not sure how long this will be, but I guess we'll just give it a go, see how long I can get into it. You've taken it upon yourself to indulge your curiosity by plunging headfirst into this game, otherwise known as The Summoning. Okay. Except, this isn't a game. Yeah, this is what I read. I need you to listen and read very carefully, and I'll only get this opportunity to explain things for what they are, and you'll only get this one chance to comprehend it before continuing onward into something you may not be entirely prepared for. I think I'm prepared. Let's do it. Before continuing on, you will need a few things. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. These items are absolutely imperative to your tasks prevented during this session. If you do not have these things, you're wasting your time entirely. It is highly recommended that you play this game with headphones. Done. To get the full experience. If you don't have headphones, you may opt to continue anyway. You absolutely positively should have your volume at a suitable level, whether you like it or not. I turned my freaking headphones volume down because when I loaded up the game it freaking scared me because it was so loud. Yes, I have got that, I guess. You will need a mirror? What? Or access to a mirror such as in the bathroom? A piece of paper, that's what I was talking about. A writing utensil such as a pen, pencil, marker, or anything else suitable for writing. I guess I'll do all of that on my phone, as I don't actually have any paper with me. I have about 700 pens, but no freaking paper, which is amazing. Access to a dark room with absolutely no lights. And most importantly, you need yourself. I've got two of them things. I've got myself and freaking headphones on. Why do I need access to a dark room? I'm trying to freaking record a video here. I can't really freaking record a video on a pitch black room and be able to see anything. Now let's be real here. You also need an open mind. I guess so? You may be one of those skeptics that like to mock things like this, or perhaps you're just insecure with your deeply ingrained personal fears that you're putting on a macho act. That is me. However, money was spent on this experience, and if you this up, you won't get your money's worth, so it's your choice. Okay? I mean, it was like freaking £2, so I think I'll be right if I don't do this. With that being said, this isn't something to be taken lightly for more reasons than it just simply not working. Not working, in this case, isn't just nothing happening. It could also mean very bad things happening. Just listen. Okay, this is building itself up strangely. Have you ever thought about contacting beings from another realm? No. I've thought about freaking what videos I need to record that day and what time I want to go to bed. That's pretty much as far as my freaking brain goes at this point. Things that were here long before we were here. Like dinosaurs, cavemen, things like that. Things that walked among us. People we once knew that are now gone. Perhaps things that never walked this earth in human form at any given point in time, like dinosaurs. What you're about to do is not for the weak of mind or faint of heart. You may think even if this is real, you've got no spirits or entities looming around your residence anyways. Therefore, you've got nothing to come in contact with even if this is in fact real. Well, let me tell you something. This is very much in fact real. Okay? I'm digging this. And you do have entities lurking around you, whether you've noticed them or not. I guess so. I mean, there may be ghosts in this very room that I'm in. There may be ghosts in the very room that you guys are in, that you're watching this video. There may be someone behind you right now. Who freaking knows? You see, entities that can come a long way. Can come along at any point in time for many different reasons that you'd never think about. For example, do you own something you've not made yourself? Everything in this room. I didn't make my freaking laptop myself. I didn't make my monitor myself. If I did, then I'd freaking sell it. A pair of clothes, shoes, a hat. Second-hand item of some sort passed down by a relative. Perhaps acquired as a used or pre-owned object from a thrift store. Not much of my stuff is pre-owned. Really only like PS2 and Wii and 360 games I played on the channel, because obviously you can't get any of that stuff new. But I tend to not really buy any pre-owned stuff. I know it's good to go into a charity shop and buy pre-owned stuff, but me personally, it would only be to give someone it, because I don't usually like buying pre-owned clothes, because I don't like the fact that someone's worn that before. But I guess even brand new stuff, someone has touched that before and made it, but it's just not, anyone's not worn it. Or maybe they did wear it, I'm not sure, to see if it was comfortable, I don't really know. But me personally, I don't usually like buying pre-owned stuff. Or maybe you don't live alone. Maybe someone in your house owns something that fits this description. Maybe my dad. I mean, I've said that I've got pre-owned games and stuff like that. An ornamental plate, a cup, an article of clothing, a used book. Maybe books in my room are pre-owned, I'm not too sure. A box, anything that was owned by someone that could now today be deceased. Oh, that's very true. Either way, even if none of this fits your lifestyle, guess what? Spirits can travel a lot further than you think. Do you have neighbours? Well, if they're haunted, so are you. Fair enough, the spirits just haven't been invited in properly to make themselves acquainted. Yet. Okay. With that being said, what you're about to embark upon is by far, we haven't even freaking started yet, is by far the realest experience you will never get to have, or you will ever get to have in your life if done properly. I feel like I've been recording for freaking 3 hours right now. Now, there are rules, of course. For example, you've got to be alone. Tick. If you are not alone, the person with you must participate. If they refuse to participate, they must leave. If you do not follow this instruction, this will not work. If you start this process and do not see it through to the end, this will not work. If you do not follow every instruction clearly and concisely, or do not heed every warning, this will not work. This is building itself up quite a lot. Is this actually a legit thing? Or worse? It is of paramount importance that you follow every instruction exactly as written. This is not to be taken lightly. This is not to be mocked. You only get one shot at this experience. Do not mess it up, or you will not be able to attempt it a second time. Okay, well, we already know I'm going to freaking mess it up somehow. Before we continue, I'd like to explain that by venturing forth into this experience, you acknowledge that all supernatural damages or otherwise ill effects of any kind is entirely your own liability. Fair enough? By continuing on, you acknowledge and waive all liability on my part. I will not be held responsible for anything that does or doesn't happen to you, your belongings, or those around you during your session, or at any point onward once a session has come to a close. Once you start, you may not stop until your session is complete, which could take anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. Okay, Jesus, I'm definitely not going to be playing both of them in the same one then, or more depending on how slowly you go. You must complete your session no matter what happens. By acknowledging this disclosure, you agree with all terms written thus far. By backing out now, your session will end immediately before it has even begun. Do you accept these terms? I take full responsibility and accept. I do not accept. Close my session now. Yeah, let's actually begin the game, shall we? You've accepted the terms and conditions, as well as your full self-liability for anything that may occur from this point forward. Now, just a reminder, you're going to need a few items as previously mentioned. We'll need a mirror, a piece of paper, writing utensils such as a pen, pencil, marker, or anything else suitable for writing. Yes, we already know all of that. If you're alone, great. You're with someone, they must... okay, cool. Know all of that already. Right, various instructions for you to follow. You will go around this room from place to place, interacting with all objects in the room until everything has been found. This part is crucial. Oh, that's cool. If this does not work, it's because you did it wrong, whether it was an unintentional misstep or your subconscious attempt to mess things up for you out of fear of what may come as a result of following the instructions properly. It's 100% your own fault if this doesn't work. First thing you need to do is have all lights, and I mean all lights, completely turned off. No, I can't physically do that because I'm recording a video, as said previously. You should have nothing that provides any level of light other than the device you're using to read these instructions right now. And the light from my keyboard, the light from my laptop, the light from my monitor, the light from my mouse, the light from the lights in my room that I'm not going to freaking turn off. Alright. Second thing you need is to be alone or with willing participants. The door must be closed entirely and you must not be interrupted during this session. You need to have the items mentioned formally near you for when they're called upon for use. A quick warning before we begin, do not, and I repeat, do not light any candles. Who uses freaking candles anymore? You may think you're making the atmosphere more spooky. You may have read or seen on television that lighting candles can aid in summoning spirits. Just don't. Yes, I wasn't freaking planning on. I don't think I've lit a candle in my freaking entire life at this point. Not only do you not need candles, but all you're doing is giving them another weapon to potentially use against you. Yeah, I'm not going to freaking get burned. Why would I do that? Especially with this experience. Do not play with fire. You will regret it. Again, you've only got one chance to embark on this experience. What you get out of it is entirely what you make of it. If you have a closed mind, if you're acting tough in front of your friends, mocking the instructions, or belittling the powers that be, I feel very, very sorry for you. With that being said, this is it. Are you ready to continue? Yes, I'm ready to actually freaking begin the game. Very well. You've been warned. Alright, can we... Okay, I guess we're getting on with it now. That's probably the longest freaking intro to a video or intro to a game ever. Here we go. Are we just moving around? I'm going to begin exploring around the room at your convenience. I mean, it's done very well to intrigue me. I'm actually really excited about this. Of course, it's the arrow keys. Alright, mouse, you can go away. I know you guys can't see that, but I still can. If you can't take any more, you can end the session here, but please heed my warning. Once you've already started, you're much better off toughing it out and finishing. Trust me, something is lingering. Maybe you can feel it. Maybe it hasn't made its presence known yet. You cannot send back what has come through without finishing the session as agreed upon in the pact. Are you positive you wish to end the session? No, I did not realise. Oh god. What did I do? I think I accidentally pressed freaking 0 on my keyboard. This is the smartest decision you could have made. The spirits of cowardice and wasted time. Only the brave will prevail. Wait, I didn't just go out, did I? Okay, no, I didn't just go out. Jesus, I legit thought I just freaking left the game by mistake. Have you ever looked at a clock at the same time every day? I think sometimes. Yes, I guess. 3 every day, 1:11 every day, 9:11 every day. Regardless of the time, it's often the same. But why? I mean, I look at the clock when it's 9 PM because that's when a video comes out. When a soul is left on Earth after the body has perished, it will try to communicate with the living by subconsciously reminding a person to look at the clock over and over again. This is to let them know the hour of their death. Jesus Christ. Somebody is trying to communicate with you at all hours of the day, attempting to squeeze in as much information through your psyche, does that say? Or psyche? I don't know how you pronounce that. As humanly possible, because you're their only hope of salvation in the afterlife. They will not stop until they have your undivided attention. Okay, wonderful. Let's continue on then. We have a lot of blood here. How are we doing? Dolls are stuffed. Oh, it's very... Okay, there we go. I was about to say it's very quiet, but never mind. Dolls and stuffed animals are a prime target for malicious spirits to use as a conduit into our realm. It's very easy for spirits to attach themselves to any object, but they choose these ones because they're often given plenty of affection and attention from the living. If you've ever placed a doll or an inanimate object in one place only to come back and find it in a different position even though you could have sworn you placed it elsewhere, I have legit done that before, then you might be being targeted by a malicious spirit, as many people think this is an act of a playful spirit. I assure you, this is no such thing. This is really freaking intriguing because I've legit done that. Like, I have toys that I've placed somewhere and then I've come back to it and they've been moved. It's probably just like someone in my family just moving it back, but I have legit done that. Whether it's like you moved it and then you forgot that you moved it and then you think that it's just moved by itself or something like that. I don't believe in any of that stuff, but I've legit done that before. Just gonna check around my room. Okay, cool. Everything I placed is still exactly where it is. Wonderful. They want to bring as much attention from you to the object as possible, so you continue to look at it, waste time trying to recreate it just to see if it moves again. But it very rarely ever does it? It's saying, this is why it's so cool, because all of these things, guaranteed at least 80% of the people watching have freaking done this. Where am I? No, of course not, because then you'd throw it out. They don't want you to know. Well, they freaking did that with the Annabelle doll, didn't they? And she just came back. Let me see. If I interact with this guy, would it be something different? Oh, I can't. Oh, wait, what? Quickly, I don't have much time to write this. Take the paper you began with, whether it's blank or already written on, and draw an X through any word written on it immediately. If the paper is blank, draw an X over any word as you write it from this point onward. I pray you find this note. You will thank me by the end of this. Take the paper you begin with, draw an X through any word written on it immediately. If it's blank, draw an X over any word as you write it from this point onward. I kind of feel like I should do that now, but I legit don't have a freaking bit of paper, so unfortunately I can't actually do that. Dolls have been used for the voodoo practices and dark magic since the beginning of magic, which as we all know has been around longer than man. If you've ever obtained a doll that did not previously belong to you, watch it very carefully. Don't have any dolls in this freaking house. I've seen Annabelle and Chucky and all of that jazz, and the freaking boy, The Boys 2's coming up this year. I can't wait. You do not know its history. You do not know who might have owned it before you, who might have come in contact with it, what magics might be at work, what spirits might be attached, or who might have died in the factory during its creation. God, this is a freaking dark game. Jesus. Anything here we can interact with? Oh, you can feel her coldness in the air. Whose coldness in the air? Sense her near and feel her stare. Upon her rotten corpse does bear a symbolic conduit of despair. Once she's here, she doesn't go until she pays the debt she owes. When you gaze upon her face, she'll take you to her secret place. Wonderful. Can I speed that up a bit? Thank you very much. Like as slow as a freaking intro to every Star Wars movie. Please read very carefully, as this is of utmost importance to getting through this experience with your sanity intact. I'm going to give you very clear and concise instructions, and you're going to follow them exactly as they're laid out for you. As long as I can, I will. You're going to need to write something on a piece of... What? Jesus, writing things on freaking piece of paper, is that all you do? For this to work, use the same piece of paper for every ritual. Once you have the piece of paper ready, draw the symbol shown on the screen as best you can. If you perform other rituals, make sure you use the same piece of paper. Just draw over what you've already written. I guess you guys watching this video, you can do this if you want. Let me just continue. After you've drawn the symbol, write a word in each corner of the paper. The words you will write are as follows. I guess I would have probably needed a face cam as well if I was going to do this legit. Yes, no, murdered, evil. Okay. I guess I can just write it in my head. Once you've chosen which corners you wish to put each of these words in, draw a circle around each word and crumple the paper up into a ball. Okay, well I can't do it in my freaking head anymore. Place a ball of crumpled paper in front of you, placing one hand on the paper palm first, and your other hand over the top of the hand you're using to touch the paper. How am I meant to freaking play the game if I do that? Now that your hands are resting over the top of the paper, close your eyes and recite these words aloud. Yes, no, murdered, and something else. Oh no, here we go. I invite the spirits here with me to answer these questions 3. I mean, it said close my eyes, but I can't freaking see if I close my eyes. You may open your eyes after you recite the words aloud and ask a question to the spirits. You must ask 3 questions total. Not 1, not 2, not 4, 3, and 3 only. The questions you ask should reference the spirits in some way, such as asking how they died. How did you die, spirit over there? Or something about them that can be answered with a simple word such as the words presented before you on the paper. Be careful what you ask, as you don't want to offend them. Spirit, you're a freaking idiot, alright? Go away. I think it's a bit too late for that. Once you've asked your question, close your eyes, uncrumple the piece of paper, and lay it out before you. Place your fingers along any corner of the paper and open your eyes to uncover the spirit's answer to your question. If that legit works, then my god, I'm done. Repeat this process and draw a line from each answer given to the symbol you've drawn on the paper. If the same answer is given multiple times, draw a separate line to the symbol each time. Okay, theoretically that's done. Now, are you ready to proceed, or would you like to hear the instructions over again? I'm ready to proceed. Very well then. Do not proceed any further past this point until you completed the task at hand. I wish you the best of luck. If you're at this point, you've probably completed the task. Do not proceed past this message if you've not completed your task. If there's no fixing what you could have set in motion by skipping this trial, do not press anything until it is complete. I've theoretically done it. If it is complete, congratulations. If it isn't, I'm sorry. Remember to use the same piece of paper for all rituals. This is very important. I'm here. Are we... Okay. Jesus Christ, man. This is legit getting to me now. A bard writes tales of legends true, a wicked man's deeds and witches brew. A hero held by morning light, the souls as pitch as the night. A cantor told, a ballad sung, a life taken and a bell rung. A widow made, an innocent slayed, near a word spoken from severed tongue. That didn't freaking rhyme. The hell? I hear that freaking knocking. You can't fool me because my freaking door's behind me. Hell yes. That's exactly why I put my desk right here. Just the occasional knocking sound in my headphones. It's like left. Well, left is my consoles. Right is actually my bathroom door. But that's open, so that's good. Maybe there's someone behind it the other way, like the open door and just behind that part, because I can't see both sides of it. Maybe, not too sure. Sometimes the dead leave notes for us to find. The soul knows when the soul goes. Whether our minds do or not is another question. If you've ever found a note written by a loved one who's gone away, ask yourself if it was written before or after they're gone. Hopefully freaking before. It's far more likely you'll receive a silent phone call nowadays, as most spirits are once people and have learned to adapt to such. Or it's just a freaking scammer, just not wanting to talk to you maybe. It can be extremely dangerous to mock or make fun of supernatural entities. That freaking piano, Jesus Christ, that is terrifying. Every time that happens, it's like I get shivers down my freaking spine. If you challenge them, they'll respond. Not when you want them to, when they choose to. This is honestly freaking terrifying. You have to understand that many of them have been around before the dawn of man. That is a good game. So a human lifespan is a blink of an eye for them. They have unending patience, and they have nothing better to do than to sit and wait for the right moment to turn your entire existence upside down. They will wait until you're uncomfortable, while quietly snickering to themselves, watching every move you make, listening to your taunts, listening to your words, hearing your challenges, and waiting for the moment where you're the most vulnerable, most cocky, and arrogant. They will take everything dear to you away forever. Okay, lovely. More blood on the floor there. Scissors and noose here. Some literature suggests that when a target of supernatural harassment feels short of breath, it's often due to a spirit that dies as a result of hanging. Okay. We wish for you to know more about them and make their presence known and teach you of their history and life, rather than merely knowing them in death. This also applies to those who have died due to their head wounds and their targets getting massive head pressure or pains, according to many books. However, not all spirits just want their presence to be known or just want you to know what happened to them in life. Some of them have truly malicious intent and wish for you to feel their pain for reasons of spite, simply because they're envious that you're still alive and they're not. Okay, we have a note here. Tragedy often breeds the most malevolent of spirits. I thought that was it then. Especially when love is involved, but very wary of those around you. You'll feel them, you'll feel their intent, and you'll feel a sense of warmth clouded by a freezing cold malice. Do not attempt fate with a scorned lover's spirit. Respect them always. They're hurting, and they may want you to hurt as well. I'm watching you? Where? Who is watching me? The person giving me the freaking things to do, the tasks? Spirits often attach themselves to very sentimental objects, such as jewelry in many cases. Sometimes they will pick jewelry up and carry it to another location. This is done to either bring attention to the living, annoy the person, most likely frighten them, or sometimes they will just simply not want the person to have jewelry that resembles something close to what they wore during their life. Necklaces, bracelets, and rings are quite often haunted, especially the ring, as many people have died not only when being previous owners of said items, but during the dangerous process of gathering precious even metals and gemstones in order to craft the jewelry itself. I don't like that at all. I can tell straight away that's in the freaking game though, but I do not like that. Was there a door in here? I can't remember. No, there's not. Can I do this as well? Ooh. Many of the notes you'll find hidden around this room are strange from real occult books using actual rituals from hundreds of years ago. Okay, that's interesting. To bring forth things to our realm, or stories inspired by those very tales and legends written in such books. Once you've started something, you must finish it. Leaving a gateway open without properly closing it can be extremely detrimental. Upon agreeing to the pact when we started, something was opened. The only way to close what was opened is to finish what you started. Something was opened? Stay strong of mind and will, and this will be a breeze. Falter and you will fail. Okay. Something was opened, was it? Let's have a quick look. There's actually a crack here. Okay, not something we can actually interact with. Just see around the edges. Bit of blood there. Alright. I think it's just up here that we haven't seen. Oh, and that there. We'll start by looking at this one. Would you dare to leave your feet hanging off the bed when you sleep at night? No. That's one of my freaking fears, is like if there's something actually there, and I hate to have any body part out of the freaking cover. I don't know why, I just hate that. Like, when it's freezing, when I'm boiling, I can't freaking do that. I can't like have a leg hanging out or anything like that. I just can't freaking do that. Most people wouldn't. There's a very good reason for that. Yeah, the freaking gremlin under all of your beds. Oftentimes, the most evilest spirits will rise from the floor when a victim is sleeping and grab their feet to wake them from their slumber. Great! I'm not gonna go to bed today then, Jesus, or ever again until I freaking forget this game. Sleep is one of the most important necessities when it comes to keeping sanity. It's incredibly important for the mind, the body, and the soul to recover. If a spirit is aiming to haunt, infest, or even possess a living soul, they target the victim's sleep to disrupt them when they're most vulnerable. This happens more often than one would remember. If you recollect this happening to you even once, it doesn't mean it only happened once. It means there's many more times that you don't remember. Wonderful! Thank you for telling me that. I don't remember it happening once, so hopefully it didn't happen a bunch more times than one. Hopefully it happened -1. The living soul only remembers being woken when the spirit is strong enough to generate enough force to wake their victim. But this generally means that the spirit is already at a level of power that they can begin causing real harm soon enough. They've been trying to wake you for a while, they just weren't strong enough yet. If you ever wake up out of the blue and feel someone's eyes on you, that means the spirit's strength has grown so strong that they don't need to touch you to disturb your slumber. This is an incredibly dangerous circumstance to be in. Hopefully none of us ever will be then. The worst building stage of them all is being woken out of a sleep by hearing a voice call your name. Oh god, I've freaking had that before, Jesus. Oftentimes a familiar voice like a family member or loved one. If this starts happening, it means the spirit is able to beckon your soul directly. Yeah, that's freaking terrifying. It's trying to communicate with your soul to trick it into leaving your body while you sleep, so the spirit can enter your body and possess it while you're defenseless. Leaving your soul to wander the spirit realm, lost and alone, is often confused for sleepwalking in victims and can result in horrible outcomes. That's very interesting. I've never personally sleepwalked, but I know my sister does, and my other sister does. So that's quite interesting to know that. Here we go. I am not your enemy. I cannot find much time to leave these hidden messages, warnings and notes around for you. I do not sense their presence near at this very moment, but they will come back. They always come back. I'm sorry to all who have begun this journey. I urge you to complete it. They want you to stop prematurely. They want you to not follow through with your pact, with your agreement. I did not want this for anyone, for those that got themselves into something beyond their imagining. If I did not follow through with their beckoning, they would never leave me sleep again. If you made it so far, you've done well, keep going, do not filter now, the rituals are simple. Test your will, but not cut, run early, do not skip any parts, do not think you can escape if you do. They will not come through, they are already here. If the woman just made her presence known to you, they already know just how bad it can get if she's lurking, but you've not yet seen her, whatever you do, do not, and I repeat, do not spee. Do not spee, ladies and gentlemen. We are not allowed to spee, apparently. There's only one more thing, I believe, that we can do, that we can interact with, which is this. It's very common for crystal balls, crystals in general, glass, and even mirrors to be used in rituals. Throughout history, stories tell of the deceased being able to communicate through mirrors and glass, and even more between them to contact the living and visit them, oftentimes without their knowledge. If you've ever looked into a mirror and could have sworn you've seen something move, you did. Okay, well, all the times I've looked into a mirror, I've freaking seen something move, pretty much. That was an entity trying to pass through the mirror and into your surroundings, or an entity that has already passed through and is currently making its presence known to you. Reminds me of the freaking early Red Dwarf episode. The next time you see something move in a mirror, try blinking rapidly. This will allow your eyes to pick up on any major movements it's attempting to disguise. If it may want you to know it's there, that doesn't mean it wants you to know exactly where it's hiding in your room. Oh god, that is... Jesus Christ, man. That is absolutely freaking terrifying to think about. But what is there left to have a look at? Did I have a look at this? I can't. Oh, wait. Witches were burned at the stake throughout history. but so were many innocent people who were mistaken to be witches with their very little evidence. The spirits of those wronged became malevolent and were far more dangerous than the witches who were burnt, as the witches' souls often passed on much quicker to the other side while the innocent souls sought vengeance for the wrongdoings of their peers. Some of them have a message to send. Some of them want you to hear it. Some of them are around you right now. Lovely. Listen, but do not speak. Oh, speak. Spee means speak, I guess. Oh wait, once you're standing in front of a mirror, make sure the door is closed and all lights are off. It should be completely dark around you. You're going to close your eyes while facing a mirror and recite these phrases out loud while keeping your eyes shut. Have I done this before? I needn't eyes to see you clear. I don't remember this. I needn't eyes to hear you near. I needn't a nose to smell your scent. I feel your presence. I give consent. Go ahead and recite it a few times aloud right now so you don't forget the words before you venture to try it. You mustn't mistake the words or this will not work for you. Once you've recited the words in the mirror, turn your back to the mirror and then open your eyes. Do not look at the mirror. Trust me, you will not like what you see. Walk back to your seat slowly, remain calm, do not turn around. If you hear any whispers or a voice of an old woman, do not respond, do not answer, just come back to your device. I legit want to freaking try these now. Obviously I can't when I'm recording. I might do it if I'm still alive after this video, then I'll freaking try it. If you feel like you're being followed, if you hear footsteps behind you, just keep walking until you get back here and shut the door behind you. I really want to freaking edit in footsteps now, that'll be funny. If your mirror is located in your room, just sit quietly for a moment until the noises subside and continue onwards. I will give you the phrase to speak one more time, remember it well. I need an eyes to see you clear, I need an ears to hear you near, I need a nose to smell your scent, I feel your presence, I give consent. Now, are you ready to proceed, or would you like to hear the instructions over again? I'm ready to proceed. I'm proud of you. Do not proceed any further past this point until you complete the task at hand. I wish you the best of luck. I don't freaking like these sounds right now. If at this point you probably completed the task, do not. Okay, that's the same. Do not press anything until it's complete. Done. If it's complete, congratulations. If it isn't, I'm sorry. Have you heard any noises? Write down what they were on a piece of paper. Use the same piece of paper for rituals presented to you. If you heard the noise, just simply write silence. Or if you heard no noises. Okay. I'm very scared. Especially now, I don't know what else to look at. There we go. I'm going to give you very clear and concise instructions and you're going to follow them exactly as they're laid out for you. This is new. You're going to lie down. You may choose to lie on the bed, on the couch / sofa, on the floor if you prefer. But you must be lying down. Once you complete step 1, you will close your eyes and begin to rub your temples with your fingers very softly. Do not press too hard. This is meant to be relaxing and help you get to the step 3. Once you've begun to calm down a little and sink into a feeling of relaxation, you are going to continue to keep your eyes closed and count from 1 to 18 very slowly in your head. If you feel uncomfortable, do not fret. They will not bother you while you're laying down and slipping into a state of relaxation. It's your time to relax before activity begins to pick up around you. Once you've counted from 1 to 18 slowly in your head, you will now count backwards from 18 all the way back down to 1, just as slowly as you had counted upwards. Once you reach 1, you will imagine that you're walking down a long corridor. The corridor is well lit. There's a bright white light and you feel safe in the corridor. You will see a series of doors down the corridor. Take a mental note of what the doors look like. Every minor detail is important. What colour are the doors? Are there any items lying around or laying around? You may see many doors, but you must enter 5 of them. Which 5 are entirely up to you. If you get a bad feeling about a door, use your gut to guide you through. You know yourself best and some doors may not be safe. You may encounter entities in the room you visit. This is normal, however, be mindful of the few that you may meet, as they're not what they seem. Your senses will not lie to you, but the entities may rely on your sight, smell, touch, taste, and hearing to judge. You may come across locked doors. If the doors are locked, you may find a key in another room. Remember, you are to visit 5 doors and 5 doors only. Do not visit 6 rooms. Do not leave at 4 or less. As you're progressing through these 5 rooms, explore and search the best you can. You must obtain 1 item from each room for a total of 5 items by the time you're finished searching. Okay. These items can be anything of any value, any randomness, and they are not truly random. You may see many things you can take in each room. Your soul will be drawn to the items in which you're supposed to take. Once you've visited 5 rooms and gathered 5 items, you will see a glowing red exit sign appear at the end of the long corridor. If it's glowing any colour other than red, do not enter it. If you're colourblind, you'll still be able to tell the difference as you're not seeing through normal eyes. Oh, okay, cool. If the exit sign is not glowing red, instead, look for a new exit sign in one of the 5 rooms you've entered previously. But do not, under any circumstances, enter any new rooms during this session. Once you find the glowing red exit sign, you may open your eyes and come back to whatever device you are using to continue this experience. During your travel down the corridor and into various rooms, as previously mentioned, you may encounter entities. If you encounter a woman with a black veil over her face, do not look at her if she attempts to lift the veil and reveal her face to you. I don't want to see the freaking nun's face, thank you very much. If she speaks to you, ignore her words. Do not listen to what she says. If she follows you, do not turn around. If she tries to block you from entering the room, do not touch her or try to get by. Just go in a different direction. If the woman suddenly disappears, stay away from the closets/cupboards, as she may suddenly appear and attempt to drag you in. If you meet a man with no eyes, he may offer you an item to take. Do not take it, do not trust his words. If you come across an old woman in a rocking chair, ask her if you're in danger. If she says yes, take an item from the room and leave immediately. You may revisit any rooms you previously entered until you've gathered 5 items and decide that it is time to leave. Last but not least, if you find a mirror in any of these rooms, you may gaze at your own risk. You may not like what you see. You may not encounter any of these things I've mentioned in your journey. Regardless, they must be mentioned as a precaution. Would you like to proceed, or would you like to hear all the details again? I'm ready to proceed. That was freaking awesome. A very good choice you've made. We got the same thing again. Best of luck. And to assume you've accidentally... Wait, if you're at this point, I'm going to assume you've accidentally proceeded, or you've completed the task. Do not proceed. Oh. Okay. Not press. Okay, cool. This complete, congratulations, you've managed to complete a trial. Hell yes. Write the items you were able to obtain in the room you visited down on a piece of paper. Make sure you spread the names of the items out randomly across the paper. You will use this later. Make sure you use the same piece of paper for all rituals. If the trial has not been completed, you'll need to complete it to continue. If you haven't completed it, you'll need to reset your session and try again. This is of utmost importance, and these trials are mandatory. Trials must not be skipped under any circumstances. Talk to me. Okay. Talk to whom? I have absolutely no idea. I don't know where I'm going now. I think there's this stuff I haven't interacted with. Many people believe that the only way to make sure the dead stay dead is to salt the corpses before burial, as salt is often used to blind a spirit and keep it from coming into our realm. I assure you, salt does nothing. I've tried it. I've tried everything. Salt does not stop them. There is a very specific way things must be done. Always. Okay. There's 2 things here that I can interact with, but then after that, I'm pretty sure I've done everything. If you hear her voice, do not answer. If she cries, do not ask what's wrong. If she laughs, do not run. If she touches you, do not flinch. If she shows herself, do not look. Once again, looking around my freaking room. Alright, we're fine. Everything's good. One more thing to interact with, though. Many known cases of hauntings, especially those of the most malevolent in nature, have been linked to the same symptoms in victims repeatedly, such as a deep level of unexplained depression and anxiety that seems to come from out of nowhere. Be mindful if you feel like something is near or making its presence known to you. If you're suddenly struck with fear, dread, panic, worry, nervousness, and you can't seem to shake it, you may be under supernatural attack. If you want to desperately get out of your house but feel inclined to stay there, but you can't explain why if asked, such as if your family or friends want you to go to social gatherings and you'd love to go, but you feel an incredible amount of social anxiety or stress when you think about going, as if you're bound to your residence, then you may need to take a really good hard think about what you may be going around, or what may be going on around you, especially when all other avenues do not seem to be helping. If you want, it wants you isolated, it wants you weak and alone. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you for that. No idea what I do now, though. I feel like I've interacted with everything. Did I interact with these? I don't think I've done this one. You were not stronger than them. Okay, wonderful. This. A vile witch by the name of Helga Vonstein was once the owner of the occult book that much of this information came from. She wore a black veil over her face as her first and only husband was taken from her, making her a widow. Her husband meant more to her than anything in the world, and she would have given anything to have him back. So it was said that she made a deal with Lucifer himself to offer sacrifices in return of her husband's soul. She would never obtain a physical body for her husband again, but she was able to speak with him using mirrors and rituals, meditating, seeing him in the corridors of her mind, and when she lay down to rest and communicating through scribbling on paper, using the proper symbols and words. In return for her being able to speak with him nightly, she would place evil curses on the houses of those of the village, seeing her husband to death, and when they grew sick, they would drag their bodies homewards using wicked disturbing methods of torture. And when the village was long enough, Helga remained. She had to keep up her end of the bargain. She wrote books of rituals, spells, and spent much time copying it over and over and over again until she had enough books to replace in many towns. When she passed on, her debt would still need to be paid. So these rituals were a way to open a gateway back to the world of the living and haunt potential victims so that she may appease her debtor. So as the unknown victims would read the act on these rituals for various reasons, she would begin to haunt them, making her presence known, attempting to communicate with those she would haunt, until they found a way to break the curse that had inflicted upon themselves by falling for the treacherous tricks of Helga's rituals. Okay. Wonderful. I don't know what I need to interact with now, though, because I'm pretty sure I've done everything. Hopefully you complete this trial. If you haven't, do so. If you have, continue onwards. Oh, so if I try and interact with things I've already interacted with, then you can decide, is that the same? Oh yeah. So it tells me stuff that I've already interacted with. You must not stop. She's here, don't stop. So I can just see generally now what I've interacted with. Can you hear them calling yet? Hopefully you complete this trial. So that's a trial. Concern yourself not with the scribes of evil. All items come with baggage. Look elsewhere. Voices are not here to help you. Keep going. If anything has moved around your room since beginning this, just know that it cannot harm you if you do not let it. Keep an open but strong mind. Continue onwards. Moved as in this room or my actual room? Strength in numbers it seeks to divide. Keep going. Not long now. Okay. She will take what's yours, give her what she wants. Her breath on your neck will chill you. Don't freaking say that. Finish what you started, the power grows each moment. What have I not done then? The more frightened one gets, the more tired the soul feels. This is called spirit draining. Do not let them win. Continue your search and finish your task. This? She wouldn't let me tell you. I don't know what I haven't done. You can't take any more. Oh no, that's the end of session thing, yeah. I don't want to do this. Feel it maybe hasn't made its presence known yet, but you cannot send back what haven't come through without finishing the sessions agreed upon in the pact. Positive to wish the session. Quitting prematurely is not advised. Tough it out and stay. It's a small decision you could have made. Lovely. Are you again? Time is ticking away. Look elsewhere. Look where? It's important to keep the music playing. If you turn it off and start to hear it again, you're in trouble. Look elsewhere. This area? Oh. In case my earlier warnings were not clear, do not light the candles. If you have candles lit, blow them out. Do not have fire around you when performing these rituals. Okay, I didn't realise I could do that. Because every time I move, I go into a new square. So, it'll be quite obvious if I can interact with anything. Ooh. Oh, you managed to make it to the end, or the beginning. However, I have some good news and some grave news. Wait, I just had to interact with the candle? The good news is, if you manage to complete all of the rituals, you bought yourself a little bit more time to escape what you managed to unknowingly unleash in your life. And the grave news is, if you did not complete the rituals properly and skip through them, you've got much less time to sort it all out than you realise. Either way, there's one way and one way only to break the curse Helga has convinced you to bestow upon your livelihood. I use the term break the curse loosely, as the curse can never truly be broken, however it can be passed on. If you want Helga to leave, you must offer her another person in return. You must find someone else to carry out the same rituals presented here. Follow all of the instructions I did out before them, just like you. This was the only way I could get her to stop haunting me. I had to make... Oh, so he actually put the spell on us then. I had to make this. I didn't want to, but I had to protect those around me and protect myself. She wanted me to help her spread her will. It wasn't a choice. I had to do what she commanded. But I thought if I could find a way to lay this all out simply, then people like you could just keep passing her on and on and on and stay safe. The problem is you don't have an infinite amount of time. Time is not on your side at all, actually, and Helga wants to pay her debt. She can be in many places at once, trust me, she's with you now. Since the very moment you accepted the agreement, the portal was already open. She has been watching you the entire time. Maybe you've already seen her, maybe she's appeared in your head, maybe you've heard her voices. I've seen like the text come up. She will haunt your dreams, she will not let you sleep, and she will never leave until she gets what she wants. You must find someone to pass her on to, and write their name down on the piece of paper you use for these rituals. Do not tell them anything about this session. Do not tell them what to expect. You can be there with them to help guide them through if you wish, but they must finish it in order for her to leave you alone. Once they've completed the rituals, you must tear up the piece of paper you used with their name written on it and throw it away somewhere that will never be found. It's not safe to leave laying around. You've come very far. I wish you the best of luck in getting rid of her now. Pass these rituals on to someone else before she takes you. I can't really... Oh, that's the end. Following edge credits are not responsible for anything that happened. Oh, okay. Wonderful. Dark Fantasy Pack? Great. Publisher? Lovely. Was that the end then? Oh. Hello? That's the end. Hell yeah, I freaking did it! I cheated my way through the freaking summoning. That was actually a very freaking cool experience. That was probably one of the most terrifying games I have ever played in my entire life. I definitely recommend any of you to check this out. This was a freaking awesome game. As I said, that was probably one of the most terrifying experiences I've ever done. And I also recommend any of you to check it out if you want. As usual, there'll be a link in the description if you want to check it out. But for now, hopefully you've enjoyed. Please leave a like if you did. Subscribe for our with the boy Boss Fatwod. Thanks for watching, and of course, as always,